to the Mint 400?
My favorite Mint 400 experience. I think coming down here as a kid, just being underneath, you know, all the lights and everybody having a good time, and you know, being a young kid and seeing the models showing everything they had, all the goods, getting in trouble. The race itself, side-by-side starts, the jump off underneath the overpass, and watching all the spectators almost get hit like Mexico. I think that's where they got their training from. And then I think being there at like 3 in the morning and seeing like the last couple finishers finishing and seeing what was left of the car, I think those are my favorite memories. And losing to Big Daddy by 22 seconds in '87. So I guess those would be my favorites.
Yeah, well, it's pretty exciting. I've heard stories about the Mint 400, lots of stories. My father-in-law, Mark Steele, raced the Mint 400 back in the 70s, and my husband won several Mint 400 races, and that was back in the 80s. So this is my first ever, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun course.
You know, it means a lot. This is the first desert race that I've ever been to. I was 7 years old. And I came with my dad, we came to Tech, and we hung out with the Gons and the Barbary Coast team. And it was really cool. It's one of the coolest things I've done. And to come back and race on the old race course, that's really cool, because you know, I get to come back several years later and you know, go do it for real.
What year was it? 86, 7. Mark Millen was number 100. Back then, when you were 100, you got to start first, how it should be nowadays. And along came this kid, about 16, 17 years old, named Rob Gordon at the time, number 105, and I was about mile 18. And the kid had probably a like 5-minute physical lead at this point already, no shit. And that's after coming out of Parker and kicking everybody's ass down there. And from there on, Robbie Gordon made his career, and that's my coolest ever Mint 400 moment.
The year was about 94, I believe, and it was when it was actually the Nissan 400.
Is that when you blew up the Ranger?
And Tim tells me, hey, I'm going to the Mint. Why don't you come up, grab my Ranger, follow me up,
in the box
we'll do
van.
contingency, and then we'll drive my Ranger out to the race. We'll go fuck around. I go, that sounds bitchin'. All right, drive his Ranger.
Favorite Mint 400 experience? I'll tell you a bad one. My first time I ever raced the Mint 400, at the starting line, my foot was bouncing so hard on the gas pedal I couldn't even hold it down until the green flag dropped, and then I took off and it all goes away. And it's just so much adrenaline when you're young, you know. All I worried about was winning, not about crashing or getting hurt or anything. And it was great. I remember back in the day, yeah, why don't we get jackets anymore? Back in the day, they had jackets, they embroidered your name on them, it was sick. I still have mine. So.
Where is it? Why are you wearing it?
I should have. I didn't bring it. I don't know, I'm an idiot. Fun times on Dirt.
The Nissan 400.
Is the last Nissan 400?
I went over to Jim Connor's booth, bought a set of MSD plug wires for it, cut them, made them, put it on the Ranger, started up. It's dead as it gets. I go, fuck, maybe it fouled the plug or something. Pull the plug out, the whole top of it's gone. I go, oh, we got some big issues.
My favorite Mint 400 experience, it's like there's two of them that are like kind of a bummer too. One was I won the Mint 400 with Mike Leslie in 1988, I think. And I was driving the last half and they shortened the race because the silt beds were so bad, dust was going on the highway. So we won. But I also didn't get to drive the whole last half of the race. I think I drove one full lap out of the 4. So I don't know how it works. So it's bittersweet, my favorite memory. But I've been able to win a couple times out here. My real favorite memory are the Mint 400 girls on top of the race cars out here. When I was like a little kid, I was like, full curve action. I was like, Vanna White. Yeah, she was a Mint 400 girl. So pretty cool. I mean, just the babes and the fun in Vegas is what it's all about. So those are my favorite memories. You know, gambling. When I was 15 years old, I was playing poker with a 35-year-old's ID, and they carded me, and I whipped it out like I owned the place. A couple times, and they're like, "Sorry, sir, didn't mean to bother you." Like 15 years old and rocking Vegas, beer in one hand, cards in the other. That's how we do it. That was early DA style. Now I'm just a pussy.
Used to be the richest. It's still the roughest. 70 miles of nasty per lap. and 30 miles of fun stuff. But it's gonna be a tough race, tough on cars, tough on tires. It's gonna be a big test. Man,
Got it.
Done.
Yeah.
We're done. Done. Go back to the hotel. We gotta leave in the morning. What are we gonna do? Well, let's call a couple U-Haul places, see if we can get a tow hitch and we can tow it home. Fuck, 4 or 5 years later, fuck that idea.
No.
I'll just drive it.
Yeah, no, because that's when we found Gary Gull.
Yeah.
Gary Gull's a mechanic. He's like, fuck it, just run it. You've already done the damage.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Timmy, I'll fix it later. I'm like, are you serious? No, run the fucker home. I'm like, what happens when we blow up in the middle of the road? Gary's all, it's a Ford fucking Pinto 4-cylinder.
It'll run forever.
It'll run forever on 3 cylinders. Don't worry about it. And this thing had the big motor in it.
Yeah.
This is motor number 1, original motor.
Yeah, it was
Original.
just as slow as I range on 3 cylinders.
Exactly. Original motor.
Yeah.